all you're going to need is your long TheraBand. If you need headrest, kneeling pad, all those little bells and whistles, please go ahead and have them close by. Longer ones are nicer, just because when we do some of the standing stuff, if you're taller, it doesn't kind of jam up your joints. So a longer one, if possible, is nice, not necessary. Shoulders down and away. Abs just gently engaged, and let's just find that focus and that connection. So always thinking, you don't have to copycat, but I like pubic bone to belly button to rib cage, and just that thought of drawing the abdominals up and in versus pressing down and away. So always be mindful we've got that little gentle zipper, and then depending on the movement that we're doing, the zipper is more intense or it's not. It's inhale through the nose, pushing that air into our back breath, and exhale through the mouth. And I just want you to take that strap behind you and wrap it tight underneath the breastbone, and then pull that quite tight. So I'm here, I'm going to pull it quite tight and just kind of grab around my rib cage. Now just settle into your feet, drop your shoulders away from your ears, and I just want you to breathe, but expand the band as you breathe. So instead of pushing, keep going with that, all the air down low, filling the diaphragm that way. Think also of expanding into your thumbs in the back as you breathe. And then exhale and kind of knitting the ribs towards the front. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. And actually feel that band expand. One more breath for me. Now just relax the band off. Continue with that thought of the big inhales, exhales. And inhale as we bring the band up, it goes over the head. I'm just going to rotate my palms and bring it down. So we're continuing with that nice big inhale, exhale through the nose on the in. Through the mouth on the X, we're gently drawing those abs in. Don't forget those principles. Those are our basic principles. We always want to find them as we start our movement patterns. So go ahead and bring the arms up, and we're just going to peel vertebrae by vertebrae, hands on the quads, just rounding the spine. So I've got a little bit of an angry cat going, and then I'm going to roll it back up, reach those arms behind, and then lower it. So I'm keeping fairly neutral spine and pelvis here, and then I'm rounding from cervical to thoracic to lumbar, and then everything going deep, and then rolling it up vertebrae by vertebrae, reaching those arms at the top and bringing it down. One more time. Just feeling that nice articulation. As you come around here, pull the band open a bit for a bit of resistance. Now let's roll it down as deep as you feel comfortable, maybe heel toe a little wider. And we've got this little bit of a rounded spine here. Nice big inhale. Press those legs towards straight, keeping your head dangling. Inhale, squat down. Now if that feels pretty intense, sneak your elbows up onto your quads. And just allow that forward flexion to have support with your forearm on the quad. Look through your legs and just feel that headline dangle at the top of your spine. One more little stretch, and then peel it all the way up. Pull that band a little tighter. And right here, we're going to take the hands behind the head a bit. As you do that, if it's tight, shoulders down, pull the band and push it behind you a bit. Now lift your thoracic spine a little bit. Thoracic and cervical, and bring that back. So think rib cages expand as we lift, and we connect a little deeper. Be really mindful. You're not just throwing that head back. And you just have my voice kind of went all funky there. If you can't breathe naturally, that head's just going too far. Breath should always be natural. One more time. Inhale. Now on the exhale, bring it forward and just go into a squat with your hands on your quads. So a little cat-cow here, but the first one's going to be tiny. See that little pelvis? I'm just going to tuck it under nice and small. Posterior tilt. Exhale, find neutral. Neutral has an anterior tilt. Just don't go big J-Lo booty. All right, exhale, tuck. Inhale, neutral. Use your abs, your obliques, pull them around the corner, and lengthen it out. Now let's go deeper. Exhale, round. Now your lumbar and your thoracic, maybe your cervical are rounding. And now push out the tailbone and find yourself into your neutral again. Let's go again. Exhale, round a bit more. Hollow the abdomen. Maybe you're standing up a little bit. Really big round in all points in the spine. And then exhale and lengthen. One last time. Scoop, and let's roll it all the way up on this one. And just roll those shoulders at the top. So we're going to go elevation, retraction, depression, and then protraction. Roll it around. Get bigger with the arms. As you're doing this, if it feels your spine wants to follow, go ahead. So as I retract back and open my ribs, I'm going to lift cervical and thoracic. And then as I bring it down, I'm going to round those parts of my spine. So I'm inhaling as I open, exhaling as I go forward. Now reverse it. Open that chest and then roll it forward. And that roll forward is kind of like coming into a hundreds position. And then I'm going to roll it open like an extension and then a hundreds. One more time. Roll it open. Find that hundreds. And then stack back to neutral. Just release those shoulders. Go ahead and hold that band a little bit wider than your shoulders. Find your feet in shoulder width distance. And let's get a couple squats going. So the arms reaching out, I'm pulling my band apart a little bit as I go there. So I'm going to press and pull it apart. So there's a brief hold at the bottom. Stick your booty back. Get the weight, instead of going forward into the knees, get the weight going back into the hips. So it's a real hinging of the hip, moving backwards. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Go two more. So watch you don't go so deep that you tuck. That spine is staying strong. You should feel the back muscles turning on. Go ahead and stay here with the arms reaching and just lower and lift the arms. If you're able to, arms right by in line with the ears and bring it down. Pull that band apart behind your head ever so slightly and bring it forward. So we're holding the squat and we're doing a little extra pull behind our backs. Yes, watch your shoulders, keep control. And one more. Go ahead and lengthen it forward. Hands to the floor if you're okay with it. Dangle at your headline. Give a little rocking here. You guys stretch it out. And then bend the knees. Articulate that spine. Bring it all the way to tall. Roll those shoulders. And find your palms facing the sky. Hip distance. And a little bit of pull. So my thumbs are facing out. Small little pull. From here, ASIS stays to the front, and let's just find that little rotation. So the pelvis really wants to go. I'm really working at rotation through lumbar, thoracic, and cervical. Bring it back to center. Inhale, rotate. My pelvis, my ASIS, stays to the front. Beautiful. Now rotate. Stay here. Take that back thumb or hand, pull a little farther, and bring it all the way back. Keep your elbows at 90 right into your waistline. Rotate, pull it a little farther. Watch your pelvis didn't go. Bring it all the way back. Wider stance, reach it. Get a little bit of pull into the sides and tick-tock over to one side. Now stay engaged in the abs. Don't just kind of sink. Stay engaged, actively reaching, and then use that expanded rib cage side to use your obliques to pull yourself back up. Tick-tock the other way. Nice big tick-tock. And then use the obliques, pull it back up. So you're not just sort of swaying from side to side. You're actually feeling the activation of those oblique muscles pulling you up and then bring it down. So find those little side muscles. Pull it up. Now we're looking for the stretch. Hold here. Actively reach your top arm. Pull down on your bottom arm, look to the floor, and breathe as big as you physically can. Now, if you want to step a little closer with your feet, you'll get a little more stretch. See if you can lean your pelvis a little bit out to the far side. Drop that arm down and give me some little circles here. With the circles, really big breaths into the rib cage as you're doing this. Circle the other way, and then grab that band again. Rotate down to the floor, bring it back to center, and then peel to tall. Relax out the shoulders. Reach that up again. Shoulders down into your back pockets. Actively go over. Pull the back hand in, press, or bottom hand in, push the top arm out, lean and sway out a bit. Really big breaths here as you're actively pulling down. Gently, don't reef on your body. Couple inhales, exhales. Let that hand go. Give me some circles. The bigger you inhale and exhale, the more stretch you're going to get into the side muscles. Go ahead and circle the other way. Inhale, exhale. Now actively reach that hand again. Gently pull. Rotate your palms facing down. Bring it across center and roll that out. Roll those shoulders. Go ahead and take that band and find it open like tails on both sides. Just at the very, very, very top of your mat. Make your tails somewhat equal. And then scooch on back to the back of your mat. Give a little shake and wiggle in the legs. Roll those shoulders, and let's get our first roll down happening here. Inhale, lift that heart. Hands down center, heart, roll it vertebrae by vertebrae. If you need to, hands on your quads as you go. Hands down to the floor, 4-point stance. 4-point cat stance here, you guys. Again, if you need an ottoman and you don't want to be on your wrists, that's fine. Uncurl the toes. Have your wrists right over top of your shoulders, your knees over top of your hips, and get some little sternum drops going. So drop through your shoulder blades and press away. This is neutral spine, neutral pelvis, which means we're not kind of tucking our tailbone under. We should feel those back muscles kind of assisting the front. Think of pulling your belly button up off the floor, and then just drop through those shoulder blades. Inhale, exhale. Give me one more. Inhale, exhale. Now stay in the pressed away. I'm just going to face the front here. Stay in the pressed away. Take off your right hand. Push harder into your left hand. Take off your right hand and just touch your shoulder. From here, hold it here. Rotate the shoulder down a little bit. Look to the side of the room. Exhale, look to the floor, push away. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, press. 2 more. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, press. Just waking up a few of those nice core muscles. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, press. Stay in the press. The other hand goes down. Push away from the floor. Don't let yourself sink, right? So think of that sternum drop, but the push away component. Now take the hand, cross it, rotate down a bit, and press away. Inhale, rotate. You're looking to the side wall. Exhale, you're looking to the floor. Inhale to the side wall. Push away to the floor. Look at it. One more time. Side wall. Press away. So staying in the pressed away, start with your tailbone, round into your angry cat. Nice big breath. Exhale. Sit your hips back towards your heels if your knees and hips will invite. Walk your fingertips forward. Take your tailbone and your lumbar spine. Try and tuck it under. In this position, huge breaths into the back. One more big breath. Pull all the way forward into 4-point. And on this one, untuck the tailbone, go through the rest of the spine, find your calves. We're finding a bit of extension now. Nice big breath. Start at your tailbone. Think of that little posterior tilt. Increase the abdominal connection with the crunch and round into your angry cat. Roll it back. Reach those fingers a little farther forward. Get those lats stretching out. Abs are still pulled in. And then come right up into your 4-point angry cat. Go through the angry, into your lengthened, and then back into neutral. So staying pushed away, your knees are slightly closer together than your hand print. So if you look through, my knees are not as wide as my hands or my shoulders. They're just underneath my sits bones. Take an inhale, reach one leg out low, but keep it touching. Straighten the knee joint fully. Find your butt and squeeze that leg up. Hold it there. Lower, lift. Lower, lift. As you lower, lift, there's no movement in your spine. Go 2 more. Now put more pressure into, let's say it's your left leg in the air, then your left hand. Put more pressure into your left hand. Lift off your right hand. Keep everything still. And then we're just going to reach it, touch it down. So opposite arm as to leg. Lift, lower, push away with that hand, push away with the knee, keep everything strong. 3 more, 2 more, a little bit of stability. 1 more, bring everything home. kind of cruise back and just relax off that wrist. You've got one arm that's going to feel like it just worked a little harder than the other, and it did. It was instability. Go ahead and give yourself a little slap hug. And then we're going to come right back to that hinge. Hands a little wider, shoulders a little wider, then the legs. Push away with power. And then we're just going to start with the opposite leg reaching. Keep your toe down. Take your knee, straighten it fully, squeeze your glute, pull your abs in gently. Then lift lower. So do not let that leg go to that floppy bent position. Think of pushing and lowering. Push away from the floor. And now go ahead and unload the opposite arm as to leg. Reach it out and lift and lower there. Let's go for 5. Exhale, 4. Nice and strong. Push away from the floor. 3, 2. Now we're going to go into alternating cat or watchdog. Bring that hand and that knee back. Press out the opposite one. Inhale, hold. Exhale, home. So now you're alternating from left to right. Hold and bring it home. One more time on each. Exhale, reach, hold, and bring it home. Last one. Exhale, reach, hold, and bring it home. Curl your toes under, behind you. Sit back onto your heels. Again, if your knees don't like that, sit tall. And let's just stretch out those toes and go ahead and slap hug. Let those arms have a little bit of mobility. Excuse me. Get those toes stretched out here. So we're actually actively sitting back in the toes. Beautiful. From here, keeping the toes connected, I just want you to press to your hips, squeeze those booties a bit, and then hover but don't sink. As you do it, we're not tucking the tailbone. We're pushing the hips out. Hover, squeeze the glute, hinge down. Hover, and hinge down. Go 2 more. And down. And one more time. And down. Hold the hinge forward. Place those hands down. Push away with power. Lift the knees. Short plank 1, you guys. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Let's hold for 5 and 4. Last 3, 2. You can go down dog or child's pose. Lift or lower, up to you. Sink into that first little stretch. So I've widened my legs. Now, we haven't done a poodle wag yet, so I've widened my legs and I'm wiggling my tailbone from left to right. One heel comes off, so as my hips drop to the left, maybe my right heel lifts a little bit. That's fine. Get that wiggle. Inhale, exhale, let your head sort of dangle at the top of your spine. Let it be comfy. And then bring yourself back into strong. Come out of your shoulders a little bit. Step your feet a smidgen farther back and prance. Prance a little bit. Pushing from one foot to the other, stretching that toe line. Stretching into that foot. Rise up on the balls of your feet. Bring your knees right down. Uncurl the toes. Paddle those out a little bit. So we've woken up that foot a little bit. Maybe here the hands are feeling a little warmer. You can go into your fists and stretch out your fingers a little bit. And then back into the hands, curl the toes. This can be on the knees or on the toes. I've walked my hands farther forward. I'm going pouncing cat. So I'm going to pounce forward into a mini plank and push back. If it feels good and you know where to go, you guys, up come those knees, right? So we're pouncing. Now we're going into our plank. If you know for your lower back, you need a slightly supported pelvis when you press out here, go ahead and tuck your tailbone a bit. If you can maintain your neutral, go for it. Let's go 4 more. And 3, pouncing back and forth. Last 2. And then hold that plank. I just want you to rock back and forth through the toes. So I'm not going up and down with my booty. I'm rolling forwards, feeling more stretch into the toe and rolling back. Now again, toe or knee issues, you might have to put the knees down, but you can still do this little rocking pattern. From here, lift those hips, plant those feet strong, and walk your hands back. In 4, 3, all the way in on 2 and 1. Let everything dangle. Big breath here, you guys. And then vertebrae by vertebrae, stack it up. Big opener to the top. Now we can get more opener in that thoracic and cervical. And back to center. Beautiful. So we're going to step one foot. Doesn't matter which one. into the middle of our band. So I'm nice and strong on that band. My arch basically is in, ball of foot, a little bit of heel, depends on the size of your foot. And then you're going to take that back leg back a little bit to start with. It's going to end up going farther. Use your hand. Go ahead and grab both sides of your band. The back leg, so the leg that's forward, that hand that's on that side, it's just going to rest gently on the thigh. The hand in front, it can wrap a couple times, depends on your intensity. And now I'm going to inchworm that back leg back a little farther in warrior. From here, I'm just going to dive into the knee a little bit and press away. So the first movement is just, again, the knee, the hip, the ankle, getting a little depth and pushing away. Once I have that, I'm going to start to row. So this hand's going to come up. I'm going to rotate open. So I'm going to go down and rotate open. So if you want more tension, go ahead and wrap your hand tighter around that band so it has a little bit more pull. When you press away, try and get straight on that front leg. If you feel you want more depth in your lunge, back your back leg up a little bit so that your stance is wider. Let's go 3 more. And 2, rotate your spine. And 1. Now stay in the up and just give me the rotation. Inhale to the front, exhale to the back. Inhale, exhale. Elbows high, shoulders stabilizing, torso is rotating. Go 2 more. And 1. Now lunge deep into that front leg. Let your band go. Elbow on the quad, my first level. So I'm supporting my torso. I'm going to reach to the sky. Working for you, instead of the elbow there, run that hand along the inside of your inside of your lower leg and push that hand into your knee slightly. Maybe you can go deeper. Now, if bind is in your practice, off you go. Bind is not into my practice. If you're going into bind, you have to deepen, slide this hand underneath, and bind them behind your backs. I don't go there. My hip doesn't go there. Inhale, exhale. Breathe. 2 more breaths. 1 more big breath. Now come out of the upper torso, rotate to the front, take that back leg, spin it, and with control, the knee goes down. Uncurl the toe, and let's just stretch into that front hamstring a little bit. Inhale, exhale here, and just make sure that that band's ready to go for your other side in case you kind of stuck to it a little bit. Beautiful. Now push forward into that hip, and let's get a little bit of hip flexor happening here. So we're just going to push gently in and rock out. Now it feels good, stay in there. Still feels good to lift the heart. 1 arm, both arms. Maybe if you're okay, you can grab that back foot, flex it. Lots of options here, you guys. Watch the head isn't so far back that the breathing is impaired. We're nice and long, but we're still controlling that. And then gently pike those hips back. Take your hands back down to the floor in front of you. And with control, sweep that leg back around into long. And then bring it down. Curl those toes, up we go. Walk it back. We're going right to the other side. Slowly roll it up. Roll those shoulders. So for the purpose of me seeing the camera, I'm going to switch which side I'm holding on and put it at a bit of an angle. You guys can just step forward with the opposite foot. So stepping forward with the opposite foot now, and then warrior that leg back. So sneak it. Come down, grab your band on both sides. The leg that's to the front, that hand just kind of rests. And then you're going to wrap. And the first movement is to bend into the knee. Front knee. Now, if my knee goes way over my toe, I could probably push my back leg back a little bit. And then I'm going to bend in, push away. Try and get this push away to straight. That's really unbalanced. See if you can get there. When you're ready, add your row. Inhale, exhale. My elbow is higher than my shoulder on this row. In the end of the row, get the rotation. So don't rush it. Get the rotation in there. So you get your elbow up to its peak, and then you give me a little extra rotation. Don't forget the knee bend. So down deep, push away, rotate. 3 more. And 2, get into that front leg. Last one, stay pushed away, stay with this elbow nice and strong, and rotate and center. Rotate. So if I put this hand on my pelvis area, I wouldn't feel a lot of movement in my pelvis and my hips. I would feel my ribs coming around and returning. 3 more. Breath out as you curl. 2 more, or rotate, I should say. 1 more. Bring it back to center. Let that band go. Find your lunge, and then find your back foot. Find power into it. Lift up and rotate it forward. Now you're in the forward. Gently bring yourself down and push yourself into that back hamstring stretch. So we're leaning it back into our hammy stretch. And then you can point and flex here a little bit if you want. Again, if I'm rounded, I'll miss the stretch. If I untuck my tailbone, I will feel more. Now, realistically, not a lot of us can untuck the tailbone in this position because the hamstrings in the lower back are just too tight. So don't fight that. Now, on this one, we're going to come forward into that front leg and go into the hip and out. So slowly cycling into the hip flexor stretch. If it feels good, hands come off. Still feels good, stay into the stretch. One arm up, other arm up. Lift the heart. Don't throw your head back. This head thrown back here, it's doing nothing for the hip flexor stretch other than aggravating the hell out of my neck, right? So the neck is just in line with the rest of the spine. Go ahead and grab the leg if you want. The tendency to throw the neck really far back is because the cervical spine has a lot of mobility. We don't want to just chuck it back there. We want to keep it nice and controlled. Big breath here. Let go with that leg. Pike your hips back. Bring your hands to the front of that leg and sweep this leg actively around. So I'm in that nice, good forward point stance again. Bring the knees down. Pull your hips forward and let's slowly come to the floor. So I'm folding my hands into my forehead. I'm laterally rotating and I'm just going to give some little booty sway here. So we've started to open up through those hip flexors. We're just going to continue with that opening sensation through the front of our bodies, which means we're connecting the back side of our bodies. Go into your sphinx. So I'm pushing into my palms, yet I'm still pushing into my elbows. I'm going to draw my shoulders down gently, pull my belly button in a little bit. Now, if I pull it too far, I'm going to kind of go into a plank. I do want thoracic extension. So it's a gentle pull, and the headline comes up, and the chest opens. Draw your shoulders down. Imagine you're pulling the mat towards you with your elbows. So there's a real engagement as you pull your shoulder blades down. Inhale, exhale here. The abs are turned on gently. If you overgrip the abs and I really pull them in, I will flatten my spine versus allowing it to extend. I want thoracic and cervical extension. Nice big breath here. One more breath. And then push into your elbows to bring that down. Beautiful. Bring your feet in closer. Put your hands nice and strong and just press away. So we're going to get a couple little push-ups here, guys. I could be in neutral spine, neutral pelvis. If I know I struggle with push-ups, I'm going to go 4-point stance. If I'm okay, I'm lengthening it out. If I'm still okay, hands wide, up come the knees. You choose it. And we're going to go down for 3 counts. Down, 2, 3, push away. Inhale, 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 exhale. 5 more. Inhale, inhale, inhale. 4, down, down, push. 3, down, down, push. Don't start dangling that neck towards the floor. Bend your elbows, get your chest towards the floor. All the way, not necessarily. 1, 2, 3, push away. Find your down dog or your elephant. Prance it out here. I'm going to slowly walk my hands towards my feet. My head is dangling, looking through my legs. And I just slowly bend, roll it up, roll those shoulders. Really big breath. Bring yourself to the very front of your mat. I have a lateral rotation. If I don't like this, I can just sit down and get set up. If you're comfortable with it, even tails on both sides. I'm going to bend nice and deep. First of all, I'm going to see, okay, that feels really tight. So as I bend nice and deep, I'm going to spend a few moments getting some spirals in here. All right, so if you came down, you sort of went, oh, damn, those hips are tight. Kind of play a little bit, knees, toes, whatever it is. Now from here, we're just going to roll through our spine and then come into tall sit. So I'm going to roll and find my tall sit. Beautiful. Extend your legs out into the corner. Actually, sort of not into the corner. Extend your legs out, probably kind of the middle of the mat. And then I'm going to take my tails, equal on both sides. So first of all, if I don't sit tall, I need to sit on a pad, right? Wrap that around the soles of your feet. Now take your legs out a little so that there's tension in your band. So we've got some tension in that band. Sit nice and tall. If this is really tough on the hamstrings and the glute, sit tall or bend the knees a little bit. From here, I'm just going to start with ankle work. So I'm just going to have a little tension in my band. I'm going to push my feet out, pull them in. What tends to happen is we roll the hips to do this. The hips aren't moving, the knees aren't moving. Literally, the peroneal muscles along the side of our leg on the outside are pushing that band out. These are your balance muscles. So when you're standing, these are the muscles that cause your foot to sort of go, you get all those little wiggles happening. Well, with this, we're just kind of strengthening into those. So we're just sort of doing this windshield washer. So my soles of my feet are kind of facing in, and I'm going to push my soles of feet to the out. And I'm going to press. I'm in full dorsiflexion, so my foot is flexed up as I'm just sort of pressing the legs out from the foot and waving back in. So super simplistic exercise, but we spend our entire day walking on our feet. So that those balance muscles, they're kind of important. Now go ahead and hold it pressed out and give little bobs. Push. Look at your feet. Does one work better than the other? Does one rotate bigger than the other? Let's go 4, 3, and you might feel all the way up to the side of your glute. 2, that's okay. 1, bring it back to neutral, and then sit tall and just wrap your hands around that band. So I like to wrap so I don't have to death grip. So I've kind of got it caught there, and I'm just going to give a nice little row. So now I'm keeping a consistent pressure so that my baby toes are not, the big toes aren't dumping in. There's a little bit of pressure happening. I'm going to sit right up into my sits bones and I'm going to row low. Tendency will be to row high and your upper traps get angry. Upper traps are actually gently pulling down and away. The stability is coming from the lower traps, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Not enough tension, just wrap one more time and pull a little stronger. Let's go 4. Neutral spine, neutral pelvis if you can. 3. Exhale, 2. Now pulse it back here. Pulse. Pulse. So the pulse is not my elbows bending deeper. I've got my elbows where they're happy. Now I'm going to retract my shoulder blades together. So keep your elbows consistent. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Yeah. If you over tighten the abs in your zipper, you can't expand the ribs. If I can't expand the ribs, I can't move my shoulder blades. So it's a zipper, but it's gentle. Let's go 4 more. 4. 3. Exhale, 2. Now I want you to hold an ISO. Pull your shoulder blades together. Drop your shoulders down a bit. Lift a little taller and hold. Hold, 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 hold. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 5. 4. Lift a bit higher in your chest. 3. So I'm looking not straight forward. I'm slightly lifted. 2. And release, waking up those nasty back muscles. Rotate. Now, if you need to bring your feet in a little closer and slap out the sides, because these are stabilizers, go ahead. Then find that engagement again where the foot is pushing to neutral, as if you're standing on it, right? So I couldn't stand on it if my foot was sickled in. I've got to push out and keep strong in that ankle. Take one hand underneath, one hand on top when it comes to the band. Grab. Drop your shoulder into your back pockets and then row. So again, if the hamstrings are kicking in too much, if the lower back is kicking in too much, I am fully bending my knees. All right, so here is fine. But look at your feet. As you rotate, did one leg get longer and the other get shorter? That means you're moving your pelvis. We want this to come from our lumbar, thoracic, and cervical spines. So the upper portion, just not your pelvis. Your sits bones should feel the same on the floor, and they shouldn't feel like they're moving around. Now go ahead and anchor that hand low into your ribs, drop your shoulder, chin parallel to the earth, rotate the rib cage a bit more. Just the ribs, it's small. Don't pull on that elbow, anchor the hand into your ribs. Rib cage moves. Rib cage moves, it's small. 5, 4, zipper up, sit tall. 3, 2, 1, bring that nastiness out. Let everything have a little wiggle. Reset it. Switch which hand is on top, which hand is below. Again, knees can be bent or straighten them. I like to loop so that I don't have to hold on for dear life, especially if you have arthritis or anything in your hands. Just loop it so it catches. And then shoulders down and row. And row. So again, it's not hard enough. Loop it a little higher up. Push out into the toes so the glute muscles are turning on. Again, if the lower back is kicking in too much, because we are working postural alignment here, you're welcome to bend those knees a little bit. Or sit up on a pad. Let's go for 4, rotate. 3, so my hand is drawing right in to the lower portion of the side of my rib cage. 2, now leave that hand anchored by the side of the rib cage, chin parallel to the earth, cut the room in half with your vision, little baby pulses. 5, 4, squeeze the shoulder blade back. 3, 2, 1, all the way out. Beautiful, you guys. So from here, we're going to just put the feet together. Again, if you've got any hip stuff or knee stuff, you might have to have that wider. And then I'm going to grab at the very tail end of my tails. So as you do that, just make sure the tension from left to right on the band feels pretty equal, and then you can loop it. From that loop, I'm going to scoop in the abdominals. I'm going to bend the knees a little bit, anchor my heels. Scoop a little bit, and then sit tall. So I'm just holding nice and strong. Exhale, scoop a little bit, and come tall. And go a little deeper, scoop, 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 scoop. The sacrum's starting to almost go down, but it's not quite there. And on this one, we're going to let that sacrum go all the way down. We're going to lie it right down. The knees are going to come in a little bit. So find yourself nice and long on that floor. Engage those abs and use the band to assist you to bring your legs up. So from here, I'm just going to keep my feet nice and strong, and I'm just going to push out on that band. Push away, pull in. So again, anyone with any hip stuff going on, you could have your legs wide here. If your feet can be in pencil, go ahead and find pencil. My elbows are anchored to the floor, and I'm using this band to assist my push-up, but I'm holding a bicep curl while I'm doing it. So my biceps are engaged, and I'm pushing out with those legs actively. My abs are in neutral spine, and then my pelvis is slightly supported, which means I've brought that belly button down to the floor a little. Don't death grip it. Go ahead and push out and pull in. Now see if you can leave those legs out there and lower left. Now if that's difficult, go back to the bend and straighten. Longer lever is more difficult. Press out and up. So now I'm just hinging at the hips. Only go as low as, I'm just going to do this wrong here. If my elbows were off and I arched my back as I went down, this would be a hard no. That is so much pressure in your lower back. So those legs are only lowering as far as you do not feel you've changed your spine movement. Let's go 4 more. And 3. Anchor those elbows down. Feel those biceps working just in an isometric hold. 2. And last 1. And bring it all the way up. Slip that band off. Let your legs come down and give me some windshield washers. So this is our first really big movement in our pelvis as we're really opening it from left to right. Let your tummy relax off now. So there's no big zipper. We're letting it just kind of open. Inhale, exhale as you go. Nice strong breath. Now, if you don't get crampy, we're gonna go to teasers. We're going to slowly come higher and higher and higher. If you don't get crampy in the ball of foot, you could put a pointed toe into this. I get crampy, so that's a pointed toe. I'm going to kind of go ball of foot versus my toes engaged. Otherwise, I'm just going to cramp like crazy. So the setup first, though. Let's find ourselves in a bit of a supported pelvis. Maybe lumbar spine is slightly flexed as well. Knee fold one leg, knee fold the other. And you do have to roll up initially to get those feet into the band. Now I'm keeping my legs slightly apart. That's my hips. If you can bring your legs right together, go ahead. From here, I'm holding tabletop. I'm starting with a fairly tight band to allow the band to assist me. I'm going to cervical nod, push into my legs a little bit, and then roll the spine up. So I push my legs out a little bit, and then I'm going to hold here. Now, if this is super difficult, just do a partial roll up. And now I'm going to engage the abs. Engage by crunching deeper. And as I do that, I'm going to roll it back down. Inhale, cervical nod. If you know the higher movement pattern, please go to it. Exhale, press it away. Maybe up here I can straighten my legs. Maybe I can open those arms more. When I roll down, if I need assistance, I'm going to bend and pull the band. If I don't need assistance, I will keep the legs now long and straight. All right, so choose kind of where you need to go. Lengthen it up. Oof, my back is definitely not ready for full teaser. Inhale, keep. Exhale, scoop. And lower down. Let's do 3 more of your variation. Inhale, cervical nod. Exhale, hold at the top. And then scoop that tailbone under and reach away. 2 more, cervical nod. Exhale, press that up. Inhale, keep. Exhale, deepen your scoop and reach it away. And give me 1 more, cervical nod. Lengthen it up. Hold here. Holding for 5. If you're holding the band wide, push your arms down a bit. 4. Keep it. 3. And 2. Bring the arms forward. Scoop. Back down we go. Band comes off, and windshield wiper. I don't know about anyone else, but that was really ugly in my body today. It didn't look pretty, and it didn't move very smoothly. Be nice to yourself. There are days that we're just going to move better than other days, and that's okay. Inhale, exhale. And we're just going to go to a little bit of toe tap. Not too many here because we've kind of held that position, but I want to go individual sides. So find yourself slightly supported pelvis, lumbar spine slightly flexed, knee fold one, knee fold the other, and the arms are coming straight up shoulder width distance. I'm going to take those arms, I'm going to pull my band a little bit apart and take it over top if I feel I'm not popping my rib cage. I'm going to hold the arms there, and I'm just going to start that slow toe tap. Now, if this is difficult, I'd like you, especially on your shoulders with the rib connection, I'd like you to just keep your arms reaching to the sky with a little bit of tension. If you're okay, the hands can go over the head, pulling a little wider. So you really feel those shoulder blades connecting. And then one leg touches and it comes up. And then the other leg. Does it have to touch? Absolutely not. If I go to lower my leg and I arch my back and I feel disengagement, I don't want to touch. Or I want to focus on a stronger zipper and maybe a little slower so I don't feel myself losing my connection. And then we're going to start the arms. So as the legs come in, the arms come in. As the leg goes out, the arms go out. Now, if this is feeling really good, you are welcome to go to double toe tap. If this is feeling quite challenging this morning or today, you can stay with singles. Still working really nicely for you, you could straighten the legs and do a lower lift. Singles or doubles, depends on how that's feeling in your body. So find your challenge and give me about 4 more within what feels nicely challenging for you today. And go 3. Remember that the lower the legs go, the more you've got to zipper up to not tilt the pelvis. Last 2, the more you need to pull your rib cage down to not pop your ribs as your arms go over your head. Last 1. Bring it all the way up, bend those knees, drop that band over your chest, straighten out your right leg, bring up your left, right hand on the left knee, over you go. Stretch into that lower back a little bit here, you guys. Make some distance between the ribs and the hips. Find a good strong inhale, exhale. And then just de-rotate a little bit, straighten out the opposite leg, knee up, over you go. Little bit of movement into that lower back stretch. See how that feels. Inhale, exhale for me. And then we are going to continue right over onto our side. So depending on what side you're on, you're going to stretch that arm out and you're going to lie right on the side of your mat. So my first option is going to be to have my knee bent up. We're doing side leg lift series. Second option, if I've got the toe flexibility, I'll anchor. The closer I anchor, the harder. The wider I anchor, the more stability I have, bigger base of support. Harder is reaching but leg down. Even harder, reaching leg off. And then I'm going to come right on to my hip. So if I've got bony hips, you might need a little mat underneath that. Think of pulling your bottom rib cage. Now, if your hand on the bottom doesn't like this position, I need something underneath there. Otherwise, this is not neutral on my neck. This is a hard no. So I'd put something here. If I don't have flexibility in my shoulder to go here, I need something there in order to hold. From there, lift lower top leg. Lift lower top leg. This is glute me, glute min. What wants to happen is we want to roll back on our butt cheeks because it's easier because these muscles are stronger. I need you to stay straight so your knee and your hip are facing the wall in front of you, not the sky. Not even at an angle towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, which means if your leg is coming super high, you're rolling back on your ass cheek. Physically, this leg can't come super high. Doesn't matter how much strength you have there. It can't do it anatomically. Hold it reaching out. The finger might need to go down for balance and give me circles. Forward and backwards. So if I'm unsure if I'm moving my pelvis, middle finger, ASIS, thumbs, ribs, nothing is happening as you do your circles here. So we're not arching and we're not flexing through the spine. Go the other direction. My bottom leg, if I want to be harder, is hovering off the floor. So it is active on the inner thigh while the outer thigh area is active on the top leg. Now keep that leg reaching. Hold it up there. That's a tough hold. Lift, lower the bottom leg. Lift, lower. If you need the hand, you can have it. If you don't need it, don't use it. Obliques are firing here for stability. You'll feel the top obliques more. Are you feeling the QL? Yes, possibly. 4 more. 3, especially if you're straight. 2. And now hold both legs. Hold them up there. Try and lift them. 5. Hold it. 4. Relax your shoulders. 3, 2. Bottom leg. Anchor it forward. Bottom arm if doable, tucks under. So my body right now is in this little bit of a lateral flexion. I'm going to lift my rib cage up. I'm going to move that band. See how I've made some space here? And then I'm going to lower it. So I am in lateral flexion, and then I'm finding neutral. Lateral flexion to neutral. Lateral flexion. Think not just pushing into your elbow. Think rib cage lift. Lift the bottom rib. That top leg, she might be getting sore. If you need to bend it and take a rest, go ahead. Now keep the rib cage down, flex your top foot, hand has to be down, maybe, doesn't have to. I'm going to do 2 kicks forward, point my toe, lift my ribs, and extend my leg back. Inhale, inhale, exhale, side kick series 3. Inhale, inhale. If your shoulders don't do this, put that prop back underneath your neck and don't add the rib lift. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Should feel glute me, glute min. Inhale, inhale, exhale. We've got 1 more. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Hold that, hold that. This leg is reaching behind you. The ribs are lifted. We're looking forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Stretch out that top hip. That glute me, glute min just got a lot of work. Give it a little slap out. Do what you need to do. And then we're just going to press ourselves into a little mermaid to give that a little bit more opener. This band all wrapped up around you, just place it to the front. We are going to use it for our double kick series, double leg kick when we go into prone. So I'm just moving back and forth here in my hip. If it feels good, you know where it goes, right? Extending it up. If I still feel good, I can add that active reach. Lift and hip goes down. 2 more. And last one, and then stay in the down, and we're just going to unpretzel that whole thing. Lie long, right along the edge of your mat. Your mat is a great guideline here as to where straight is. So if my feet are really far forward and my chest is far forward, I'm not straight. I want to be as straight as I can. Use that line. Line up your ribs, line up your arms. Arm not liking it, pat underneath your head, right? Knee can be bent, anchored, down on the floor, straight out, or slightly lifted. Then up comes that top leg actively. Lift your rib cage, rest your head down, drop your shoulders if you can, that top arm is off, and lift and lower. So this is my dumbass side. What does that mean? It doesn't mean the top hip is dumb. What it means is my bottom rib hip connection is weaker for me. So the top leg's okay, but I wiggle around because my connection on the bottom, which has to be a little firmer, is not kicking in, right? And so sometimes the wiggling around is not the muscle that we're moving, it's what we're actually trying to hold still, which would be our core here. Now give me those nice little circles. So if that's happening, but you want that hand off, slow down. Wake up those rib hip related muscles. Draw up through that core muscle. No pooching. And then circle the other way. So this side for me is substantially wigglier. Is wigglier even a word? We're going to go with it. Let's go 3 more. 2. And 1. Now keep that leg reaching but slightly higher. Lift your bottom leg lower. Lift your bottom leg lower. If you can get it to come all the way up to the top foot, go ahead. Mine's not quite going there. What I'm not going to do is bend and compromise and sickle my ankle to make it happen. I'm just going to work at trying to get that hip and that inner thigh as active as I can. 1 more. Hold it there. Hold it there. 5. Are your ribs collapsing to the floor? Lift your rib a little bit. 4. Keep your core connected. 3, 2, and release a little bit. Bottom leg anchors. Now, if you can't anchor the toe, have the leg reaching up. That's okay. If you're able to get this bend into the front bottom hand, go ahead. Top hand on the rib, and I'm just going to do those nasty little rib lifts. So I push into my elbow slightly as I lift my rib cage up. What often happens is we arch into that. There's no arch. It's just straight up. It's neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Lateral flexion to neutral. Lateral flexion to neutral. That leg, it's still actively reaching. So that ass cheek on the side, those glute me, glute mins, they are saying hello right about now. And lift. Now lower it down. Hand does need to go down like a tripod here. Flex your top leg. Inhale, foot. Inhale, point the toe away. Exhale, lift that rib cage as you extend. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Now maybe you can get that hand back up. Inhale, inhale, ribs lifts. Exhale. Side kick series 3. Inhale, inhale. She's nasty. Exhale. 1 more time. Now we're going to hold that leg reaching behind you. We're going to hold the ribs. We're going to draw our shoulders into our back pockets. We're going to zipper up those abdominals and hold for 5. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, and out. Ugh. And then roll into that. Let that open. Inhale, exhale. Yeah, I agree. And then slowly use your legs to come up into your mermaid. Let's stretch that out a little bit. From here, just start that little bit of movement in the pelvis and the hip. When it feels good, you can go bigger. If it doesn't feel good, don't go bigger. And then reach if you're okay. Maybe 1 more. And then bring it all the way down onto our bellies. We're finding our extensions, guys. So open that up. Bend the knees. I'm just going to take my mic off here a little bit. Bend your knees so your heels come into your tush. Laterally rotate out your legs. Glue your heels together. So avoid having the legs way out here. If the knees can bend, they're up here. If this feels huge pressure in the lower back, please go ahead and put a pad underneath your pubic bone and your ASIS. So those are slightly lifted. So if you watch my spine without my hands, my lower back has a fair amount of lordotic curvature to it, or archiness. And that can be bothersome for some people. So if I put my fingers on my pubic bone and my palm on my ASIS, and then I settle, do you see how that flattened my spine a bit? That's okay. Because then when I press up, I can isolate the glutes and hams more versus feeling pressure in my lower back. Ideally, don't use your hands. It'd be nice to just rest the head. So we're doing heel squeezes. My head is into my hands. We didn't get our glutes the other direction in shoulder bridge today, so we're getting it in heel squeezes today. We're going to press and lift. My upper torso is relaxed down. My shoulders are still gently into my back pockets. Don't grip it. It's gentle. All I'm doing is tightening up my quads, squeezing my heels together, and squeezing my butt cheeks to lift the quad somewhat off the floor. Again, way too much pressure into your lower back. It is working the lower back. You can put the pad underneath. Now, if the upper torso is like, oh, I got this, I want to be more active, take your hands out from underneath your head, place them beside you, and float your head an inch off. So I'm still neutral spine, neutral pelvis position, but my head is not supported, which means my neck muscles are now working. Still happy, I take my hands off and my elbows off. Now my thoracic extensors are waking up a bit more. If I'm still happy, push into your fingertips, lift the thoracic so you've got a little extension in thoracic and cervical, and now go up and down. Still okay? Arms heavy out to the sides. And we're still squeezing and lifting those legs. Pull your abs up off the floor in theory. 5. Exhale, 4. Don't kind of thrust it up. Control it. 3. Push your heels together actively. 2. And 1. Now hold it there for 5. Now, if you're okay here, straighten out those legs. The heels will come apart. Straighten them fully. 4. 3. Lift your heart a bit. 2. And release. Push back into your child's pose. Whatever feels good. Those back extensors just worked super hard, but so did the glutes and the hamstrings in extension. Inhale, exhale, whatever reset feels good for you. We're going to do one tiny set of double leg kick and then release it out. Come back down for me. I'm just going to use the band today. We're going to double it up because it doesn't need to be elastic. It just needs to be assisting the stretch. So I'm going to grab that band. If I'm tight, I'll grab it wide so my shoulders can flop. If I'm a bit more flexible in the shoulder mobility, I can hold my hands in tighter and flop. Turn your cheek to one side. Oh my God, is that ever tight? Relax your shoulders down. Abs engage. You have lateral rotation from your hip. Open as comfortable. Flex your foot. Pull your heels to the bum. When you do this, I shouldn't see you sort of going woo all over the floor. It's nicely connected. It's 3 pumps, but it's controlled. It's not just kind of ballistic. And then I'm going to stretch those legs actively. As they reach out, I'm going to stretch my arms actively. I'm going to rotate my head, and here I am in that nice long spine position. I'm going to turn my cheek. My hands come into the small of my back, or my band does. 3 pumps. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, lengthen long. Now, if you're doing a different breath, don't worry about it. Just breathe. I like an exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale. If it feels better to go inhale, 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 exhale as you lengthen, then go ahead. Just make sure you're breathing. One more. Press, press, press. Reach, hold the reach. If you're okay, keep the legs lifted. If the lower back's going, woo, this is getting really hard, you can put them down and then lift and lower the arms. If the shoulders are having a tough time here, widen your hand position. If you can keep those legs actively reaching, go ahead. If you can keep the thoracic spine lifted a little bit, go ahead. 4, don't overlift your neck. 3, straighten your knee, reach it. 2, whether it's on the floor or not. 1, and release. Push back to whatever feels good for you. That was a tough set of extension today. Release it out, round the spine, flatten it, whatever feels good. I'm going to go into a rounded position like a shell and breathe really big into my lower back. One more huge breath for me, you guys. And then come out into kind of a cat position. Curl the toes, lift. Go ahead and play here a little bit in your down dog. Gentle recovery. Sway from left to right, put a wag, bend and straighten. The shoulders are like, I'm out. Walk it out. Bring it in. So from here, I am going to walk my hands to my feet. I've widened my leg position. I'm going to ragdoll, but I'm going supported. So my elbows are on my quads. I'm looking through my legs. I'm just going to dangle my neck at the very top of the position. If I'm okay in full ragdoll, I'd let my arms dangle. I like supported. It's just a me thing. Slowly peel it all the way up. Oh, lovely. Give those shoulders a little roll. Wiggle things out. And then we'll just take a nice recovery breath. Inhale as we lift that heart. Hands down center heart. Little no. As the arms go down without the torso moving, just look to one side. Just one side. Keep your chin parallel to the earth. Bring it back to center. Just glance to the other side. Drop those shoulders. Bring it back to center. And we are done.